Recorded Books presents The Silver Crown by Robert C. O'Brien. Narrated by Alyssa Bresnahan.
Chapter 1. The Birthday Present. She had known all along that she was a queen, and now the crown proved it. It was the first thing she saw when she opened her eyes. It lay beside her on the pillow, shinier than silver, glowing softly, with twinkling blue stones set all around. And although it looked hard and solid, when she touched it, she discovered that the silvery metal was actually a finely spun fabric, strong but soft as silk, so that if she wanted to, she could fold the whole crown in the palm of her hand and tuck it in her pocket. She got out of bed, stood in front of the mirror, and put it on her head. It felt light and warm and comfortable. Of course, it fitted her perfectly. Her name was Ellen. She had brown hair, gray eyes, clean teeth, rather knobby knees, and was 55.5 inches tall. She was 10 years old. Yesterday she had been 9, but today was her birthday, and the crown was her first present. It didn't occur to her to wonder from whom it had come. She was merely aware that it was hers by right. Her bedroom, a white room with a slanted ceiling, was in the attic floor of the house. Her parents, her brother, and her younger sister all had their beds on the floor below. She looked at her clock. It was not yet quite 7, and she knew, now that school was out, that they would all still be asleep. It was not their birthday. She got dressed, brushed her hair for 7 seconds with no noticeable effect, slipped the crown into her pocket, and started downstairs. Halfway down, she turned around and came back up. She took the crown from her pocket, where it made a sizable bulge. Also, though it was light on her head, it felt heavy in her pocket, and put it instead into a red leather pocketbook, which she snapped shut and slipped over her wrist. Besides the crown, the pocketbook held $1.56. She hoped it would hold more before the birthday ended. It also contained a tattered letter from her Aunt Sarah, who was beautiful, lived in the mountains, but who traveled a great deal, and was the only grown-up who knew, honestly knew, and didn't just pretend to know, that Ellen was a queen. Ellen went down to the kitchen, where she ate a donut in 4 bites and drank half a glass of milk. She slipped another donut into the pocket where the crown had been and went out the front door, closing it quietly behind her. Outside, the morning was still faintly misty and the neighborhood was asleep. She took the crown from her purse, adjusted it on her head, and started down the sidewalk at a queenly pace. Then, about a block ahead, she thought she saw someone moving. She had the odd impression that whoever it was had a green head. When she looked again, she could see no one, so it must have been only some leaves moving in the wind. Nonetheless, feeling rather self-conscious, she took the crown off again as she walked in the direction of the royal palace. She came in a few minutes to a small wooded park, which she entered. Through the woods, she walked to a clearing where there lay a comfortable log, or rather a royal bench, for this was the castle garden. When she sat on the bench, the castle stood behind her, just over her right shoulder out of sight, beyond the trees. She put on her crown, and almost immediately a brown and white rabbit, whom she knew slightly, emerged from the woods on the far side of the clearing, made a sweeping obeisance toward the queen, and hopped away down an invisible rabbit run on business of his own. The queen encouraged wildlife in the royal park. Rabbits, squirrels, birds, butterflies, slugs, spiders. She didn't really encourage the last 2, but they were there anyway. And she allowed no hunting. Although the castle was out of sight, she knew exactly what it looked like. It had 3 tall towers, all minareted, and 2 shorter ones standing guard over the portcullis, which had a spiked iron gate ready to crash shut, and, of course, a drawbridge wide enough to accommodate mounted chargers, 3 abreast. The curtain wall was gracefully buttressed, and in the clear blue water of the moat swam ducks.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?